Hey guys, Will here, back with episode 3 of What I Learned This Week. Today, the topics we are going to be discussing are how to get started with recording and some of the issues I experienced during my last gig. So let's get right into it. So first, we're going to be talking about how to get started recording. When you're recording, it's really important to keep in mind that everything needs to sound clean, right? You want a high quality sound. And in order to do that, you need to have a couple of specific things. So the first thing you need to decide is whether you want to go for a mixer or an audio interface. Now, in my case, I technically use both. When you use a mixer, generally you also want to use an audio interface, because the built-in microphone input on your computer is usually trash. So I use a cheap audio interface with my Mackie 8-bus board. Some people will also choose to use interfaces that are equipped with 48-volt phantom power and XLR inputs, which allow them to be used standalone, even with a condenser microphone. For interfaces, I would highly recommend the Behringer, the Behringer Euphoria UMC 404 HD. It's a 4-channel phantom power XLR interface. I've seen it as cheap as $80, but right now it's probably almost twice that. I don't know why. The prices fluctuate a lot on Amazon, but you can find it as cheap as like $90 if you really look for it. But overall, it's a very excellent interface, and I would recommend it. As for a mixer, if you want to go analog, I would recommend that you go on Craigslist and buy something used. And if you're going to buy something that's new, I would recommend that you get a digital mixer. I know there are a lot more, but you should get one. Like the PreSonus RML mixers are really good. Behringer X32, good mixers. Those are the ones I would go for. Now, you're going to have to select a microphone, and the microphone you want is going to depend on what you plan on doing. I have personally selected the AT2020 as it is a good all-around microphone for recording vocals, for singing, talking. It's good for recording instruments, and it has a very wide frequency response, and it's overall a very clear microphone. Some people may choose to go for the Shure SM58, which is an excellent vocal microphone, or its instrument version, which is known as the SM57. But note that they are exactly the same microphone, just with a different head, so the diaphragm and frame of the microphone are identical. You may also want to consider specialty microphones for devices such as drum sets, where they may need something specific to pick up a certain frequency, for example, a kick drum microphone. Now that you've got a microphone selected, you're going to need some headphones or speakers to monitor the inputs, and you're going to need something for playback. I would recommend that you get headphones first, because getting a decent, high-quality pair of headphones is going to be a little bit cheaper than speakers. I would recommend the Audio-Technica ATH M50X. I've had them for an incredibly long time, and they're a very good pair of headphones. I would absolutely recommend. Later on, I would recommend purchasing a set of monitor speakers, such as the KRK 5-inch speakers. PreSonus makes a couple good sets of them. JBL makes good ones. Yamaha. They're all excellent. They're going to run you a decent amount of money, maybe $200 a piece. Depends on how big of a monitor you decide to buy. But I would definitely recommend the brands that I just listed. Links to all these products will be down in the description below. Now we have reached the part of the show aptly named Content Review, where I review content. Last week I reviewed Without Me by Halsey. And as I said, I will always do whatever the Billboard Hot 100 is, whatever the number one is, whenever it changes. And it has changed and is now Sunflower by Swae Lee and Post Malone. So the first thing that really stands out about this song is just the overall presence, particularly brought on by Swae Lee's incredible, beautiful voice. The reverb that has been used on his vocal track is very, very well used, and overall it just gives this song a wider sound stage. Also, the percussion used is very effective. It's right in the right places, and it gives the song more depth, and it gives it a wider sound stage. I'm also very impressed with Post in this song because he goes a little bit out of his singing comfort zone. He does some things you wouldn't expect him to. A lot of people will say, oh, well, he's not a singer, he's a rapper. A lot of people say he's not a rapper, he's a singer. But all I can say is I was happy with his vocal performance on this song, and overall, I would say he definitely improved the quality of the song. I would also like to note that Post Malone and Sway Lee were both part of the writing team for the song. I believe there were 5 writers. Both of them were included on the list, which is very good because that means they didn't just get handed a song and, whenever somebody just hands you a song, does it ever come out good, right? It's always best when you write it yourself, and that way it has you in it. You are the song. I think this song maybe deserves somewhere in the 7 out of 10 range. The lyrics are meaningful. Not especially meaningful. They're not life-changing, but they mean something. And the beat and singing and production of the song is superb. So I would say 7 out of 10 for this song. Now we are going to move on to the second topic of the day, which is going to be the disaster that was the last gig I attended. So this gig was like a robot type of thing. It was robots, Legos. It was basically a bunch of little kids building stuff, right? And there was a judge and all this stuff going on. But Nick did not want to go to this gig because he was too afraid to have Mommy drive him in the snow. And of course, he didn't trust me or Noah either because, oh my god, I can't drive with you guys, you inexperienced drivers. Whatever. Besides that, Nick is an idiot. But regardless, we ended up having some serious problems because of that. So we had to use my mixer, which is the Numark NS7, and my laptop, which is currently having a problem where the trackpad doesn't work. And unfortunately, the trackpad problem arose during that gig. So I had no trackpad, and I had to fly home and get a mouse. That was a big pain in the butt. And then, of course, I get there, and my keyboard doesn't work either. So that was incredibly frustrating. And I was having a hard time looking through all the music. Content Unlimited virtual DJ streaming service was having some problems. So it was just an absolute shit show. I could not get things to work. Thank God all the little kids, they couldn't tell the difference. Thank God. I mean, it was awful. But yeah, that was just really unpleasant. So after that, me and Noah went to Olive Garden, and we just filled up. We were so tired. We were beat. We had done a gig the previous night. We had to wake up early. We were just done. And then, of course, I get home, and I have to unload all the crap from my truck because my dad wouldn't let me tow the trailer because he's worried about the stupid commercial plates. But regardless, it was awful. I don't know how you single DJs do it. You got to have at least 2. I mean, I did, but, 3 or 4 is nice. I mean, jeez, I don't know how you single DJs do it. It's impossible. Now we have reached the segment where I review a piece of tech or something I own or whatever the hell I feel like reviewing today. And based on those previous 2 topics, I feel that it is very appropriate for me to review my controller, the Numark NS7. So here it is, the Numark NS7. This is my controller. It is a very heavy controller, and it is a very big controller, especially compared to Nick's controller, the DDJ SX2. This controller is like 5 years old, and I got it used for around $200, and it was totally worth the money because it feels really nice. Like, it has motorized turntables. Everything feels good on it. As you may notice, just looking at it, there are some problems with it. For example, the headphone knob doesn't really work. Like, you turn it halfway around, nothing. Turn it all the way around, it just blasts. So that's kind of a problem. It's really frustrating when you're listening to music, trying to get it to work, and you turn it, and you know, and that's really unpleasant. You know what I'm saying? And I have made this kind of crappy stand for my laptop that fits on here, which, as you can see, has scratched up the back of it, and I ended up pulling out some ports by mistakenly. So this controller is kind of a piece of junk at this point, but nonetheless, it works. I have it programmed, reprogrammed probably half of all the stuff on here because, I mean, like treble, mid, completely useless. This isn't like a audio mixer for mics or whatever. It's completely useless. So I've reprogrammed both of these. Gain, reprogrammed. All these buttons here, all reprogrammed, because half the crap is useless. I am utterly amazed sometimes by the fact that this board still works. This board has gotten wet. It has been, honestly, it's probably been submerged a few times. It's been thrown around in the flight case. It's sat here. I mean, my cat's probably taken a dump on this thing, for God's sakes. This thing is a tank. It's heavy. It's made of steel and aluminum, and it is absolutely unbreakable. $200, totally worth it. For that money, you could get like a DJI RB3, which is like that big. All right. So if you want a big mixer, this is the one to get. This is like the only cheap thing you can get that's going to have motorized jog wheels. Just excellent board. But be prepared to have some problems, because I would imagine that most of the people who own these have beaten the crap out of them. You can't buy this new, right? I would recommend that you buy the new version, the NS7 III. It's a really good mixer. It has all these screens. And then Nick is like, "What? These screens are stupid." And I said, well, I know you're just saying that because you know that it's a better mixer, right? It's $200 more than his, but I said, why didn't you spend the extra $200 to get all the screens, motorized turntable? Yeah, the Pioneer's a better brand. Yeah, nice job, Nick. Yeah, you've made a very good argument there. So if you liked this video, please leave a comment. And if you didn't like this video, please leave a comment. Tell me what you didn't like about it. Tell me, yeah, your hair is kind of weird today. You're wearing sweatpants. You look like you've given up on life. Yeah, I know I've given up on life. If you didn't like it, you might also want to leave a dislike, because then you might not see it again. But, just don't watch my content. Unsubscribe. I don't give a crap. I'll find somebody else. I don't care about you. You're just some random person on the internet. Take a walk. I don't care. But if you did like my content, please subscribe, like this, and share it with your friends. I would really appreciate that part, with sharing it with your friends. Show it to your friends. Show them this part. They'll probably laugh at it. And if they don't, well then, you have dumb friends and you should get better friends. I'll be your friend. I don't have any friends. So regardless, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.